Hey, what's going on? Juan Carlos Barreneche here, founder of Goldbar. And I just wanted to pick up where we left off in Vegas at the EXP convention. We had a really good time. Me and Ricky Cruz got up on stage and we started telling everyone what they needed to do in order to build their business. Funny thing about Vegas, we actually had so many people there. I think there was close to like 1,000 people that the fire marshals had to go out of their way to stop letting people into the room. So there was a lot of stuff going on. And obviously we didn't have time to finish the entire presentation. But I did want to pick up. I promised you all that I would go ahead and continue this. And that's what we're going to be doing right now with the EXP. So a little background on myself. When I joined the EXP back in 2018, I was actually one of the very first agents in all of New York State to join EXP as a company. And essentially, it was an opportunity for me to go out of my way to build my business, not just locally, but nationally. I really took with it and I ran with it. I built a team in New York. I expanded out into Florida. Then I expanded out to other states. And essentially, it allowed me to build a team that sells more than $100 million a year in sales. Now, in that entire time frame, I built the team in a way where I actually have to work less than 5 hours a week managing it. And I've done it through using leverage. So I want you to understand that leverage can be a very powerful tool and asset towards building a team. But if done incorrectly, well, it could also lead to you going bankrupt. You see, if you bring on too much overhead too quickly and you don't have enough revenue to cover your expenses, well, it could lead to you going in the negative. And we don't want that at all. So what I'm going to go do is just basically give you a little run through of what I spoke about in Vegas with Ricky and what you could do to build your business to multiple six figures. And then once you're in a position to scale, you could actually go ahead and implement the leverage, what comes in two ways: software and staff. All right. So let's start off with the basics. Essentially, I run a community and a training platform called Goldbar. And during that platform, I tell everyone, hey, your goal is to go out of your way to get to six figures as fast as possible, but make sure it's done in a way where it's proactive, not reactive. What do I mean by that? There's a lot of agents that are doing well in this business, but if they wanted to replicate their success from one year to the next, it's very hard for them to do that because they don't have a strong referral-based business. So when building a business, you want to make sure that it's referral-based based on relationships and based on the people that you've worked with in the past, and that you're offering really good service so that people send you more clients in the future. In order to build a referral-based business, step number one is going to be to build a database, okay? And in order to build a database, you have to pick one. Where are you going to store all of these people that you come across? I recommend using KV Core just because we do get access to it through EXP. If you want to use another CRM, that's totally fine. The CRM that you choose does not matter as long as you use one. That's really the best CRM, the one that you actually use. So let's say go ahead and say that you're using KV Core like my team. What do you do next? Once you have a KV Core, you want to master it. You want to learn how to actually utilize it. The amount of people I come across that have a CRM but don't use it, well, it's usually because it's lack of knowledge. They don't really have the intelligence or the capacity to leverage the technology because they never took the time to actually bother to complete the training. So first thing, as soon as you choose a CRM, go ahead and complete all the training classes. Go out of your way to actually learn it. I don't care if it's 5 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours long. These CRM technologies are so powerful that you could get them to automate the entire follow-up process for you, and you could get hours of your time back per week. So number one, pick the CRM. Number two, master it, attend the trainings. Once you've done that, now you have a good foundation. Let's go on to filling it up. There are 3 income-producing activities in real estate. Number 1 is prospecting. Number 2 is following up. And number 3 is consultations. The only way to make money in this business is to do one of those 3 activities. And if we start with number 1, prospecting, well, prospecting is just fancy for you doing lead generation activities that are going to build your database, okay? And if we go ahead and we redefine what a lead is very simple. It's just a relationship that you have with someone. And how do you build a relationship with someone? You go up to them on the street. You could meet them at an open house. You could call them off Facebook, whatever it may be. The second that you build a relationship with someone, you're doing 3 things. You're getting their name, you're getting their contact info, and you're establishing rapport. They are aware that you are now in real estate. And how do you establish rapport and let them know that you're in real estate? You ask them if they have a real estate agent. It's the only script you'll ever need. I call it the golden script. But once you ask them that question, they go ahead and say, okay, cool. I don't have a real estate agent. No, because I'm not looking to buy or sell. And you say, wonderful. Can I be your agent when you need one? Whenever you approach someone and ask them to be their agent, chances are that the majority of them are not going to be using an agent at that moment, and they're not going to need one. But if you could ask them for their business now, before they get to that point, there's a very high likelihood they're going to say yes. So they go ahead and say yes. You say, wonderful, can I text you my information? You get their contact info, their name, their phone number, their email. You go ahead and now put that person into your database. And congratulations, you got one person in your database. Now, how many people should you strive to put into your database on a daily basis? That's very simple. I gave you a formula, and that formula is the following. You're going to take your yearly goal over the next 12 months. Let's say it's $100,000 in GCI, and you're going to divide it by the number 10,000. What that's going to give you is the number 10. And now you know you need to have 10 conversations a day in order to get to your yearly GCI goal. Well, how does that work out, Juan? Well, it's very simple. If you speak to 10 people a day, I'm assuming that at least half of them are going to give you their name, phone number, and email if you ask them the golden script. Can I be your realtor? And when they say yes, well, you've added 5 people a day into your database. And we take those 5 people and we multiply it over a week. That's 25 people going into your database weekly. If you take that over a month, that's 100. If you take 100 times 12, that's 1,200 people going to your database yearly. Okay. So I hope you like math because I'm a big math person and math is definitely on your side when you're in real estate. So now you say, well, hold on, we have a 1,200 person database. How does this equate to 100K a year in GCI? Well, here's the interesting part. Any single time that you go out of your way to build your database, for every 100 people that you add into that database, at least one of them is actually going to be qualified and in the market to buy or sell real estate. So if we just use that assumption where you fill it up with 1,200 people and you build rapport with each one of them, well, essentially at least 12 of the 1,200 are going to turn into referrals. And then if we're assuming that out of the 12 referrals, you're able to close, let's just say 10 of them, well, 10 deals at $10,000 a year each come out to $100,000 in GCI. So you see how we just reverse engineered the entire real estate game? I'm not leaving anything up to chance. I know my numbers. I know my metrics. I know them like the back of my hand. I know how many people I have in my database as of this morning, 15,247 to be exact. And we understand exactly what needs to be done in order to go out there and generate a referral. So you understand the process now on the front end, okay, which is filling up databases, number one. Well, number two, you now have to follow up with that. In order for those 1,200 to pump out 12 referrals, we have to stay in touch with them. And how do you do that? It's through following up and nurturing them. The best way you're going to do that is through email, text, and voice. Why do I recommend these 3 options? Number one, you can reach a lot of people with a click of the button. So if you want to send out a mass email blast, you can send that out to 1,500 people or 15,000 people tomorrow. Okay. Email is very easy to do and it's very cost effective. I recommend sending out a weekly email newsletter every single week. If you're curious about our templates that we use, you can just go ahead and reach out to me on Instagram at Juan Goldbar, and I could go ahead and send you back one of my templates. All right. Next, if you go ahead and you send them a monthly holiday text, it's a really nice way to stay in touch with them without asking them for business. Your goal is not to ask them for business monthly. It's just to stay in touch and earn real estate in their mind, make them think of you. And you can just do that as right now it's going to be Thanksgiving next week. You can say, hey, happy Thanksgiving from your favorite real estate agent, Juan. You could automate the entire thing through KV Core to blast out to 250 people at a time. And then you could go ahead and do this to your entire database throughout the week. Last but not least, the ringless voicemail drop. Apologies, it's kind of hard to say that. But the ringless voicemail drop allows you to basically pre-record a message and then automatically blast it into people's inboxes on their phone. How cool is that? I think the stat is that 90% of people listen to their actual voicemails. So that's going to be a really cool opportunity for you to get in front of people. You want to use the ringless voicemail drop once a quarter or once a year to now ask for business. And I'll give you a little template that you can use. Hey, my name is Juan Carlos. I'm calling with EXP. I try to get a hold of you, but I was just reaching out to let you know that it's been great following up with you via email. And I hope you're getting my text messages. But I wanted to know if you know of anyone looking to buy or sell in this neighborhood. We have a very qualified seller who's looking to sell as well as a qualified buyer. And I'd love to see if we could help them. My number is XYZ. So that's just a little simple script. Don't make it too complicated. Don't make it too long. But the goal is to ask them for business in a way after you've been following up with them for so long. All right. So now you have my entire follow-up process. If you do this correctly, in addition to filling up your database consistently, you're going to generate one thing and one thing only: appointments, which I call consultations. Consultations are great because they're coming usually from people that you built relationships with. These people have talked to you up already, and now you're in a position to actually generate them into a client. Once you can do that, it's as simple as sending them your Calendly booking link. What is Calendly? It's a scheduling app software that will actually go ahead and book anyone that uses this link into your calendar automatically. But how do I use Calendly? I put qualifying questions in there so I can learn more about the prospect itself. And I put auto reminders via email and text so that I don't have to stay in touch with them throughout the process. Once the appointment comes around, I go ahead and I leverage my buyer or my seller consultation from start to finish, which I do have pre-recorded in a PDF. And I go ahead and I present it. And then at the end of it, it should lead to me getting an actual listing or buyer agreement. Once I have that, well, I have a client. And I don't have to teach you what to do with a client. I think we all know how to service clients at a very high level. So that's pretty much the entire process from A to Z of how to generate a client. And then once you generate enough clients, well, you're going to realize you're very busy. You're going to be doing a lot of open houses, a lot of showings, tons of paperwork, submitting offers. Your goal is to now close a couple of deals. And when you could get to that point where you could save up about 6 to 7 months reserves to hire an assistant, do it. Take advantage of it. Scale. Why? Because you can't afford to not get an assistant. As long as you're someone that's running everything as a one-man or a one-woman show, it's going to be very, very tough for you to scale out of production if you're doing all of the work yourself. So highly recommended that you start applying leverage as soon as you feel you could afford it and you've laid out the reserves. And applying leverage means pretty much bringing in someone that can help you out when it comes to paperwork, marketing, sales, showings, anything that you could take off your plate that is in the best use of your time. So that pretty much concludes everything as far as how to scale a business. It was a lot of review in regards to what we went over in Vegas. Moving forward, I do have a training community and platform where we are educating agents and team leaders on how to scale out of production as fast as possible. And it all comes with the central belief and core value of building relationships with the people that you want to work with. We're not in this for the transaction. We're in this for the long-term value that we could add to our community and through going out of our way to build relationships with everyone around us. Instead of just trying to find the people that are ready to buy or sell now, we can have a much longer impact and approach on this business and on this model. So once again, my name is Juan Carlos Barreneche. Hope you got a ton of value from this entire session. EXP is awesome. So happy to be a part of this company. And if you have any questions, reach out to me on Instagram at Juan Goldbar. Thank you.